Imagine coming home to an eviction notice taped to your door, or out of nowhere, you're facing a messy child custody dispute. Or maybe you've just been denied the unemployment benefits you literally need to survive. Now, imagine having to navigate the absolute maze of the court system to fight that battle entirely alone, just because you can't afford an attorney. For millions of Americans, this isn't some hypothetical scenario, it's a terrifying reality. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the absolutely critical steps to navigating the free legal aid system right here in Washington state. I am so thrilled to guide you through this because knowing your rights and knowing exactly where to find free legal help, well, that can literally save your home, your family, and your livelihood. We're going to turn what feels like a confusing legal maze into a clear, totally navigable path. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our clear, step-by-step roadmap for today. We'll start with the civil justice gap, then cover do you qualify, where to find help, the application process, challenges and wait times, and finally, self-help alternatives. Section 1. The civil justice gap. To truly grasp why free legal aid is so crucial, we really have to look at the harsh reality of the civil legal landscape. You see, we aren't talking about criminal court here. In civil matters, you don't have a constitutional right to a public defender. If you can't afford a lawyer, well, you simply don't get one. In fact, look at this staggering statistic from the Legal Services Corporation. 92% of impactful civil legal problems experienced by low-income Americans receive inadequate or no legal help. That is a massive, gaping void. Whether it's a dispute with a landlord, escaping domestic violence, or fighting for basic employment rights, the vast majority of people are forced to face the system completely alone. This is what we call the justice gap. And if you're currently caught in it, I want to validate your struggle right now. It is a systemic issue, for sure, but there are absolutely ways through it. As this quote so powerfully highlights, the outcomes can be life-changing. People can be evicted from their homes, lose custody of their children, or be deported. Think about that. Civil legal matters are not just, annoying paperwork. These are human crises affecting our most basic human needs. The outcomes literally dictate where you sleep, whether your family stays together, and your fundamental safety. This is exactly why getting connected to the right legal aid organization is absolutely critical. Section 2. Do you qualify? So, I want you to ask yourself right now, do you qualify for free legal help? Your income, your household size, and the assets you own are going to determine your eligibility. This essentially dictates whether you get matched with a fully funded legal aid attorney or if we need to look toward low-cost and self-help alternatives. And this brilliantly illustrates the landscape here. Washington state's financial screening is, well, quite rigorous. The standard income limit for state-funded civil legal aid is generally capped at 125% of the federal poverty level, along with a really strict $20,000 asset cap. Compare that to a jurisdiction like Washington, D.C., which sets their baseline threshold much higher, at 200% of the poverty level. Now, Washington state does sometimes expand eligibility up to 200% for specific dire emergencies, like eviction defense, but generally speaking, the financial screening rules are very firm. But hey, here is the good news. You do not have to lose everything to qualify for help. Washington law actually exempts key assets from that $20,000 cap. Notice here that your principal residence and your primary vehicles, they're fully excluded. Household goods are excluded up to $6,500 for an individual, and your wearing apparel is excluded up to $3,500. This is specifically designed so that low-income families aren't forced to sell off their basic personal property just to get their foot in the door of a courtroom. It's a real lifesaver. Section 3. Where to find help. So where do you actually go? Here are the cornerstone organizations you can reach out to. The Northwest Justice Project, or NJP, is Washington's largest publicly funded provider. They are a powerhouse, employing over 100 lawyers and paralegals statewide. Then there's Sound Legal Aid, which relies on a really robust volunteer network to help out with housing preservation and domestic violence cases. The Eastside Legal Assistance Program, or ELAP, serves East and North King County with a strong focus on housing stability. And finally, Columbia Legal Services handles systemic advocacy for folks experiencing poverty. These guys are essentially the front lines of civil justice in the state. Now, general legal aid is frequently supplemented by specialized identity-focused programs that offer culturally competent support, which leads to some amazing success stories. For example, the Q Law Foundation has successfully helped gender-diverse individuals secure housing and fair treatment through their specialized free clinics. Similarly, the Tulalip Office of Civil Legal Aid provides dedicated, targeted assistance to enrolled tribal members in both tribal and state courts. Finding an organization that truly understands your specific community, that can absolutely be the key to a successful case. Section 4. The application process. Let's move to the next phase and see how this builds. The entire state utilizes a centralized triage system known as CLEAR. That stands for the Coordinated Legal Education, Advice, and Referral Hotline. Here's how it works. Step 1. You apply online or call 1-888-201-1014. Step 2. A screener will verify your income and assets to ensure you meet those strict guidelines we discussed a minute ago. And Step 3. If you're eligible, you'll either receive brief legal advice right there over the phone, or you'll be directly referred to a local legal aid office like NJP or ELAP for full representation. Okay, listen up, because I want to give you a crucial insider tip regarding the CLEAR hotline. The phone lines open at exactly 9:15 a.m. on weekdays, and because the demand is just incredibly high, their daily intake capacity fills up super rapidly, like blink and you miss it fast. Your absolute best strategy is to be on the phone and dialing at exactly 9:15 a.m. If you wait until, say, 11 a.m., you're more than likely going to get an automated message saying the service is full for the day and you'll have to try the whole thing again tomorrow. Section 5. Challenges and wait times. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we have to acknowledge the systemic limitations with total honesty. As lawyer capacity remains mostly flat while case filings just surge, we really need to manage our expectations regarding what happens after you apply. Real-world wait times at places like King County's neighborhood legal clinics vary drastically depending on the legal issue. For an immigration question, you might wait 1 to 2 weeks. For a general practice issue like consumer debt, expect a 2 to 4 week wait. But for family law, which involves highly complex, super emotional cases like divorce and child custody, the waitlist can stretch all the way from 5 to 7 weeks. Knowing this helps you plan, right? And it really highlights exactly why you should call the very minute a legal issue arises, not the day before your court date. Section 6. Self-help and alternatives. So, what do you do if you happen to fall into that justice gap? What if you make slightly too much money to qualify for free legal aid, or your court date is next week and you simply cannot sit on a 5-week waitlist? Please don't panic. There are options. Here is an incredible list of alternative resources to empower you. Many county courthouses offer courthouse facilitators. For a small fee, usually around $25, they can review your family law paperwork to ensure it's filled out correctly. Dispute resolution centers offer affordable mediation for landlords, tenants, and neighbors to settle things out of court. And the Moderate Means program connects middle-income families with reduced-fee attorneys. I really want to spotlight Washington Law Help specifically. If you absolutely have to represent yourself, this is your ultimate digital tool. Maintained by the Northwest Justice Project, it's a completely free online library offering highly detailed Know Your Rights articles, instructional videos, and amazing do-it-yourself court form packets for everything from eviction defense to debt collection. It basically translates incredibly complex legal jargon into plain, actionable English. It's a real game changer. And here's one more fantastic resource, specifically for residents in King County. Dial 211. Operated by Crisis Connections, dialing 211 is your direct, rapid lifeline to local community resources. They can provide immediate referrals for urgent issues like impending evictions, discrimination, or domestic violence support. It completely bridges the gap when you need help right this second. So the crucial point is this. The legal system is incredibly intimidating, but you no longer have to operate in the dark. Knowing your options, whether it's calling the CLEAR hotline at 9:15 a.m. tomorrow, accessing a specialized clinic, or downloading forms from Washington Law Help tonight, what is the very first step you will take today to secure the legal support you actually deserve? The tools are out there, they're waiting for you to use them. Before we wrap up, I just must note that the information provided in this explainer is strictly for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional legal advice. Every single legal case is highly unique, and as we know, laws change frequently. Please consult a qualified attorney or an authorized legal aid provider to get guidance tailored to your specific legal situation. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really wish you the absolute best of luck in navigating your legal journey.